Well, what about Usyk?
Sorry, again, Mike.
What about waiting for
Usyk. Well,
Usyk?
I'm interested to see if Usyk can withstand it against a real heavyweight. I think Usyk against Wilder is a more interesting equal fight because of size
I love
than
that.
Usyk against Joshua or Fury. I think
And
Usyk's got, having watched his fight the other day, I think Usyk's going to have a problem with really big men and powerful men. His power doesn't appear to have come up with him from Cruiser. He still looks light in the company. I think life's not going to be comfortable for him if he fights Joshua or Fury. Wilder being smaller is going to be a much more interesting test. And we'll find out then how good Usyk's chin really is if he gets hit by a heavyweight, because Wilder still qualifies as a heavyweight.
Jeff, let me ask you this. Is Tyson Fury the best fighter in the UK?
My view, well, he's certain. I think at the moment he's the best heavyweight in the world, and and I think he's probably at this moment he would appear to be a stronger fighter than Anthony Joshua. It'll be interesting when Daniel Dubois has another year under his belt, because this young man is going to be a threat to everybody in a year or so. But at the moment, the best heavyweight in the world. At the moment, the best heavyweight in Britain. I'm torn a little bit about best fighter in Britain, because I think Josh Taylor is possibly the best fighter, the best boxer in Britain at the moment.
What about Taylor against Crawford?
That is probably, well, that's in my estimation, a much closer fight than Brook against Crawford. I think Taylor is for real. This is a proper fight. It was extremely close progress, but I think he is the best Scottish fighter since Ken Buchanan, which makes him perhaps the best British fighter since Ken Buchanan.
It goes back 40 years.
Yeah, and he's his mentor and in return the hero. So that's an interesting equation, and they come from the same corner of Scotland. Although Ken's not well at the moment, sad to say, he's in a home at the moment, and care homes at the moment are not very good places to be in this country
because of the virus.
Yeah, and the infection rate is terribly high.
Slava, go ahead. You have more questions for?
Yeah, I read an article the other day. This is switching gears a little bit. It was some dispute between, I think, Eddie Hearn and Katie Taylor, one of the I don't follow women's boxing, but there were some people asking me, his argument was, well, the women aren't putting the fans in the seats or whatever. So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that, on Katie Taylor.
In fairness, Slava, nobody's putting fans in the seats
right now. But sure. But I mean, I think what he was talking about was the post pre-COVID sort of,
Yeah, well, Katie's top of the bill this month, on an Eddie Hearn show behind closed doors. It's a moderate level show, but she's topping the bill. So I don't think there's any great issue between them. Mm-hmm. She seems to be happy. She's been getting the big fights as far as women's fights are concerned. She's got one or two very close and contestable decisions in her favor in that time as well. So the matchmaking's been on occasion tight, but they've got away with it. So, I would think she ought to be fairly comfortable with Eddie at the moment.
Some people are saying, and I mean, we never know these things, where is it like some way to drum up interest? Like if fans hear, because that's constantly a discussion, like is there sexism or whatever? So if they drum up interest of some sort of dispute, get in the press. I mean, again, that's why I'm asking you, because you're in the press over there. I don't know if that's of interest.
We've not been alerted to anything serious between Eddie and Katie. Kell Brooks are not very happy with Eddie that he's not put him on Sky Television here for this. I mean, this is the biggest fight of his. Well, he's had 3 big fights, hasn't he? Errol Spence, Gennady Golovkin, and now this. And this one's not going out on sizable television. It's going out on a small cable network, and he's not too thrilled about that. And I think they've got a bit of a fallout at the moment. But there's pragmatists inside and outside the ropes, and I'm sure that if Kell were to pull this off, there'd be some huge fight that Hearn would want to be involved in with the Zone and all the rest of it. Of course, always assuming that the Zone stay in business for the duration. They've just lost the you know their marquee attraction, haven't they? Even if Canelo does one fight, which is being mooted, but they've lost their crown jewel.
Biggest free agent in boxing history.
Yeah, and it was their crown jewel. And even if he goes back for one fight, they'll have to pay a fortune for it. And Lem Blavatnik has apparently advised them no more massive money going out for recruitment. They're losing $500 million a year. So it's going to be interesting to see how long all that holds together.
But supposedly, Jeff, their money man is supposed to be having an unlimited supply of money.
Well, he's put the brakes on because he didn't get what he expected to get, which somebody forgot to put in the contract, that Canelo had to fight Golovkin a third time. Somebody made a mess on that contract. I don't know who.
Dropped the ball.